Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I want to make a video showing a couple of things. Thing one, I want to explain how I wanted the weather and climate graphing activity to be carried out. I want to go over it. I want to make sure that you guys learn something from it. I'm a little worried that you're doing all of these awesome assignments and you're getting grades, but I want to make sure that you're learning something because climate is obviously very important. The other thing that I want to go over is the hold no harm grading policy. I just want to go over some of the math on that so you're not confused by it. So this might be a little bit of a longer video. Budget some time to watch this, and I want to go over this relatively slowly for everyone. So the first thing I want to do is talk about this. This is the weather and climate graphing analysis questions. I assigned this last week. It was due, I should sorry, I'm taping this at 4 o'clock in the morning. It is due this morning at 11 o'clock in the morning. If you click on this, you should get something that looks like this, okay? Notice up here, I made a copy of this. I put my name on it. That's a really good way to do this. I did not do the master copy. I inserted a graph in here. I decided to graph the data for San Francisco in December. Here is my graph. I made sure to insert that according to the directions at the top of the page. Some of us forgot to do that. That's not great. This was worth 15 points, 5 points for the graph and 2-ish points for each question. I was looking for a few things in the questions. I was looking for details. I was looking for scientific thought, and I was looking for pulling data from your graph to back up your answers. Just because we're remote learning doesn't mean that we don't have to do that anymore. So here's our first question. Which graph is most variable? Which one changes the most? So if I go here and here, there is the answer that I came up with. According to my data, the observed temperatures are more variable than the climate normals. Why is this? Explain why you think one is more variable. This is because climate is assessed over a longer period of time, months, years, even decades. Weather is much more day to day. Number two, based on the information in your graph. So as soon as you see something like that, you should go back up to your graph and start pulling some data from it to use in your answer. That's what I'm looking for. What is weather and what is climate based on information in my graph? Weather is area, temperature in the area that's short term that can change dramatically. And I gave some examples from San Francisco from my graph. Climate is the temperature. And again, I gave some information from my graph. What I looked at was the difference between my blue and my red lines. And then I looked at the differences between my green and my orange line. You'll notice that the blue and the red line changes dramatically. In some areas, it changes almost 10 degrees. In other areas, it only changes 5 degrees. Whereas climate, green and yellow, stay pretty constant. Again, both of these questions, both of these answers, I should say, I'm looking for based on the information in your graph. Got to have that in there. Can I make any conclusions? According to my graph, the climate maximum ranges and the minimum ranges. This is not much of a change at all, okay? 57 to 56 is the change of 1 degree. 46 to 45 is the change of 1 degree. That's not much of a change at all. So based on that 1 month of December, you would not conclude that climate change is occurring. Number 4. You hear the news that it was warmer than last year. What kind of information? Okay. You would need more than just data from 1 year back. You would also need exact numbers. How much warmer was it? Was it 1 degree or 20 degrees? Did the climate normals jump up to 80 or just down to 60? Finally, you would need data from other months. We did December. I would want to know what happened beforehand in November, and I would want to know what happened afterwards in January before I can make an informed decision on if the climate in my region is changing or if it is just a 1-year trend. What kind of information, therefore, do you need? This is kind of like Question 4. Some of the data you would need would be average temperatures dating back many, many years. You would also probably need data in surrounding areas, maybe what's going on in Los Angeles, maybe what's going on in Portland, Oregon, maybe what's going on in Las Vegas. I would also look at written descriptions of the climate. I would want to know what the farming records were, how the hunting season was, general observations of the daily weather. I think that would be also very, very important to determine if that global climate is changing. So again, these aren't exact answers, but this is the kind of stuff that I am looking for. I'm looking for details. I am looking for details from your data, I should say, and I'm looking for kind of complete answers that really fill everything out. This was worth 15 points. I'm slowly getting through these and putting these in the gradebook. And I want to now talk a little bit about the gradebook and how this is working. I've got a lot of emails asking me questions about that. All right. Let's create a new whiteboard. Got it. As of right now, there are 276 points in the gradebook, okay? That doesn't count the extra credit. The extra credit goes above and beyond that. Remember, there's no extra credit this week. But right now, you could have earned 276 points. Let's say you earned 251 of them up to this point. 251 divided by 276 equals a 90.9. So right now you have a 90.9 and 91% in your gradebook. Now, let's take the weather and climate activity that I just went over. That was worth 15 points. That is going to change the black number to 291. Okay? 276 plus 15 is 291. And let's say you did pretty good on that assignment. You missed a couple of details and you got a 13 out of 15 on the assignment. I added the 15 points here. I should add the 13 points here. So that gives you 264, okay? 251 plus 13 is 264. We go back to the calculator. 264 divided by 291 equals a 90.7. A 90.7 is less than a 90.9. I am not going to enter this grade in the gradebook because under the hold no harm policy, it would technically bring you down 0.2 of a point. Now, I know what you're thinking. A 13 out of 15, that's going to bring me down? Absolutely, it is mathematically. If your grade is already this high, you've got to score really, really high on your assignments, higher than a 90.9% in order to make your grade go up. What I will do in the gradebook is I will put in the 13, but I will exempt it. You will see that the 13 is in there, and that's what you got for a score, and it will show that you have done it as well, but it will be exempted because otherwise it will bring your grade down. When you have a high grade, such as a 90 or above, you've got to get 14 out of 15, 15 out of 15s for it to even make your grade go up. We are not allowed to put in grades that make it go down. I put in the grade, but I exempt it. If you'll notice, the grade does not go down. All right. I hope this helps with every question that people have been having. They're great questions. Please keep emailing me. And this is just kind of how the math works, If you have any general questions on anything, please feel free to email me. Remember, the assignment today is to just go over the PowerPoint. Tomorrow, Tuesday, I'm going to roll out a bigger assignment, but it's our only assignment of the week. Have a wonderful rest of your day, ladies and gentlemen. Sun's starting to come up. It's peeking up over the horizon. I can see out my basement window. Have a great, great day. Goodbye.